Hi, and thank you for joining me on another video in our Ditch the Clips series, where we look to replace behavior charts and clip systems in our early childhood settings and instead replace them with skill building and relationship building. So today we're going to continue our look at the 101s. It's developed by Dr. Kersey out of Oldham University. Check out the Oldham University website for more information at odu.edu, and in the search bar type in the 101s and you'll have a whole complete list there. Today we're going to look specifically at the choice principle, and I'm going to kind of tie that back in to one of the theorists that really speaks to our early childhood field, and that's Erickson. And I'm definitely going to do a set of videos specifically on theorists, just because I personally love theorists. I love looking at how that neuroscience and psychological background as far as human development goes does tie into what we do in the classroom and how it should really feed and drive some of our instructional practices. So today with Erickson, I want to look at some of his 8 stages. Specifically, we're going to look at stage 2 and stage 3. Stage 2, that whole idea of autonomy versus shame and doubt, is about 18 months through 3 years of age, and the next stage for initiative versus guilt is going to be ages 3 to 5. And I say ish a lot of times when I talk about those age groups, because unlike our birthdays where, hey, we had our birthday and now we're a new age chronologically, developmentally that doesn't take place. It's not like you have your birthday and bam, you're done. A lot of us know 18, 19, 20-year-olds who don't necessarily act like adults, even though legally they've hit that milestone or culturally they've hit that milestone. So it's one of those things where developmentally, and we've talked about that before, developmentally you could be different than your chronological age, and that's a-okay. There's nothing wrong with that, and that's why there's ish and that's why there's ranges. But just kind of keep those groups in mind. That's definitely those age groups that we're talking about. So let's tie that back into the choice principle. When you're talking about the choice principle, what you're doing is you're giving the child choices. I try to limit it to 2. If you have a very cognizant kind of child who can handle more options, maybe 3, but I really wouldn't give them more than that for anything. With my own daughter, I definitely give her choices all the time. You want to sit here or there? Do you want a plastic spoon or a metal spoon? Do you want pink or do you want purple? And it sounds so simple. And sometimes it's easier for us just to give what we want them to give. But adding those choices into it really allows the child to practice decision making, critical thinking skills. It makes them stop and become self-aware about what they want. It teaches them to then communicate those needs. Then we can give our children the scaffolding they need if they don't get the thing that they want. Maybe you give them pink or purple and they say they want green and green's not available. You can help them kind of work through those negative emotions. So it kind of sets up that kind of situation for you. It also allows them to go through those 2, autonomy versus shame and doubt and initiative versus guilt, because they learn in autonomy versus shame and doubt and initiative versus guilt to really start to do things on their own. They start to believe in themselves that, hey, I can do that. They get that sense of self-efficacy where I don't need somebody else to do this for me. I am capable of doing that. And that's really important when we hit those K and 1 years where we're trying to ask them to write and to read. And those seem like very intimidating, big, heavy skills. And realistically, they are. So it's important for our kids to have the confidence to want to try those things. And by giving them choices, you're validating that, hey, I believe you can do this. I believe you're capable of making a choice. And when you make that choice, I'm going to give you that choice. I'm going to follow through with that. And so it's really important that you give them choices when you give them those 2 or 3 choices that you're okay with, because the second you give them one choice you want them to pick and one choice you don't want them to pick, they're always going to go for the one you don't want them to pick. It's kind of what they do. Something else that might occasionally happen, and I definitely have this happen with my own daughter. She's quite sassy. I will give her 2 choices and she'll look at me at 2 and go, I want different choices. And that's where I have to go, I'm sorry, honey, these are our 2 choices. And I give her a couple chances to pick. I repeat the choices. I show her her options. And if she doesn't pick one of them, okay, well, you have 1 more minute to choose, or I will choose, Dad will choose. One of us are going to make that choice for you. So we definitely put a limit on those choices as far as how many and what the choices are, and we then give them a time limit as far as making those choices. Now, that's where I pull in things like the timer says it's time, so I will set an actual timer. I will look at the actual watch and give them an amount of time, and that's another one of the 101s is timer says it's time. But I want them to be able to make a choice. I want to give them time to kind of think about it. And the more practice they have with that, the quicker they'll become at making those choices, and it'll become quite seamless. Sometimes we get kids into our childhood settings, and they can't seem to decide anything. You want to play here, you want to play there, and they look at you like, you're crazy, because they've never had to make a choice. They've been told what to do. And unfortunately, that doesn't help build those higher level executive thinking skills that we really want them to have. We want them to weigh options. We want them to be able to pick the best option for them. And to, like I said before, have that ability to kind of self-analyze. What do I want to do? Why do I want to be able to do that? And that's something you can add to it as they progress and get better with making choices. Hey, do you want the pink one or the purple one? Why do you want the pink one? Or why is that the best choice for shoes? You tell me about it. And kind of adding on some of those thinking skills. So you're still giving them options that they want and still options that are okay with you. They get to choose, so they have more control over the situation, which eliminates some of the toddler fits you might have where they're feeling out of control, because they do have a little bit of control over that situation. And then you're also building on some of those executive functioning skills with the critical thinking and things of that nature. So there's a lot of layers that goes into those choices. And again, that might sound so simple. I'm asking them if they want to sit here or there. Why am I doing that? But you're really building into place all of these great thinking skills, all of these great social skills, all these great emotional skills. And you'll see they'll start to use those choices even with their friends. Like, hey, you want to play with me? Great. Would you like to use this tool or this tool? And it's great to see them start to use those in their centers as well, where they're giving friends the option. And that really makes it feel more inclusive and including to our friends when they want to join into a social situation. So hopefully that's helpful to you. I definitely love to hear your feedback. So find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or here on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the channels if you want to see the latest videos as I post them. And feel free to direct message me if you don't want to have your stuff out in public. That's okay. I know some of you guys have been messaging me behind the scenes, and that's absolutely okay. I just love to hear back from you guys and really meet your needs where you guys are as well. Don't forget to hashtag ditch the clips if you do want to share something with me out on the social media. And I look forward to joining you guys again soon. Thank you so much.